Thank you for braving the weather today as we gather to honor the memory of James Camp. First, I would like to thank Peoria Fire Chief Tony Artis, a St. Bernard's and Spalding alum, who spearheaded the efforts to rename the street in honor of James. Thank you for your leadership, Tony, in pulling all of this together. And a special thanks to the members of James's family for their blessing in allowing us to honor James and for joining us for this dedication. We had family members that came from New York, California, and the state of Washington to join us today, so thank you very much. James was a 1979 alumnus of St. Bernard's Grade School and a 1983 graduate of the Academy of Our Lady Spalding Institute. James was a Chicago police officer when he was shot and killed in the line of duty on March 9, 1999. Many of us here today remember James as an intimidating warrior on the football field and wrestling mat. We are always glad that he was on our team. But we also knew James as a kind and gentle friend and classmate. Most of the pictures of James in our yearbooks showed him surrounded with friends, often with his arm around them or giving them a big hug, and always flashing that $1,000,000 smile. Without further ado, I would like to ask Robin Brown, James's cousin, to speak first.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Robin Brown. I'm the first cousin of James, also known as Bug is what we called him, was his nickname growing up. We greatly appreciate you all honoring him and giving him this opportunity to, continue the legacy of him. Growing up, he was a wonderful young man, very kind, compassionate. We were pretty close. I grew up in Bloomington, but came up to Peoria quite a bit, and he is dearly missed. But it's a blessing to really have the opportunity to be able to, attend this dedication. So on behalf of the family, we greatly appreciate having this in his name. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. Next, I would like to introduce Pastor Derek Galloway, also a cousin to James.
Good morning. I'm not fortunate enough to be a cousin. I'm the nephew of James Camp. He grew up right over here at this corner. First, let's make sure we have everything in order. I want to give honor today to all of the dignitaries and politicians that are in place, for Chief Artis for setting this up, for making the phone call out of faith and hoping that it reached someone that was in the family, because the times that he had tried to find somebody was difficult. But by faith, he still reached out and was able to reach another cousin who helped assist put all of this together. So we're eternally grateful for that. I want to give honor to the family who is here. There's not many of us that are still living. We're scattered all around the country. We're all around. But when something like this comes about, it's necessary for us to put everything aside and to come honor the legacy of our dearly departed. We lost not only me for an uncle, we lost a cousin, we lost a brother, we lost a son, just as I'm learning that the city of Peoria lost a son. He was a son of this city. I remember playing football with him. I guess he didn't realize we're 10 years apart, so you can't throw a 5-year-old a leather football from about 30 feet away and say, why didn't you catch it? But that was my understanding. You can't have a 5-year-old and say, this is what we learned when we were wrestling. But it taught me resilience. It taught me strength. It taught me that as long as you don't give up, you can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. And that's exactly what he did. That's what he stood for. It also taught me that family is important. So we're grateful, eternally grateful, for the opportunity to attend this street renaming ceremony. It means so much to us because not only was he our family, but he's your family, and he'll be eternally memorialized at this location where he spends so much of his time. So again, thank you, God bless you, and I'll pass it back over.
Next, I would like to ask James's brother, Tony Camp, to share a few remarks.
Good morning, Peoria. Thank you so much. I don't talk much. I'm not a person of a lot of words, but I just want to thank you, Mr. Artist, for doing everything you did. I told you. All the people that are here that all made this possible. I want to also, as I was doing some research to get ready, I was going to write something down, and I started to write, and I said, no, you do best when you just speak. So you get up there and you tell what's on your mind. As I was also looking up about great men or men that bring things together. And I kept coming up with the same Bible scripture, Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpens iron. Our family, we put together a little something for you, Tony, and we want to present you with this. Come on up here. This is from the Camp family. It says, as iron sharpens iron, Proverbs 27:17, from the family of James Camp.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
We're going to close with a couple of familiar Peoria faces. First, former Peoria Police Chief John Stenson.
Good morning. It would only be proper that we recognize that today's not just about renaming a street. Today's about friendship. Only Tony Artist could get people to come out in the rain to recognize. I've been to many of these street renaming ceremonies, and this is probably the biggest crowd that I've attended, and where the friends from high school, the friends from around the country have appeared for this. But I need to give you a little information on the Camp family. Their contribution is not just the sacrifice of the officer's life. Their contribution in this city, for example, Ron Camp, a cousin who lives here in Peoria, was a Peoria police officer for 15 months, but he served the city of Peoria in the engineering department for 37 years. Now, all of us need to know something is this. If you're serving in the engineering department, engineering, a degree or a skill level that's not, it's not a where you just come in the door type position for 37 years. And he's retired, and I think after 37 years, I think I don't have the date right, but I think it was like, let's say 10, 15 years ago. You knew that that was a difficult assignment at a difficult time for a man of color. But not only did he serve as a police officer during that 37 years with the city, he served as a union rep. Now he's representing everybody of that wasn't in public safety, firemen or policemen. He's representing all the other trades and civilian employees. So he's negotiating with the chief of police, chief of the fire department, the city manager, to see that a fair due process takes place as far as the rules of the contract and state law. So that relationship has got Peoria where it is today. But more so than that is this: when you have a friend, and we all understand that you choose your friends, not your relatives. When you choose friends such as this, who will come out on a rainy morning to recognize a classmate, that is a great indication of what was learned at St. Bernard's, was learned at Peoria High, St. Cecilia. That's a great testament to the people who showed up here. And I want to thank the people who showed up here for their standing up, for their commitment, not only on the athletic field, but their commitment to a friend. And that's important for the family to see that. That's important for your kids to know as we go forward and try to change this thing, because there are very many opinions right now on law enforcement. But this shows you that 95% of the people who serve in public service, fire, police, and other assignments of government, are good people. An example of what goodness is what we see here today. And I want to say thank to these people who showed up, but I also want to thank the Camp family for knowing that, you know, their contribution is like a ripple in the ocean. It not only it starts in Peoria, but it goes around the world, as many of you live in different communities. And I thank you for that. I thank Ron, who's present, for his service to the city. But I thank the family for giving us camp. And there's also, I need to mention this. There's several people here who attended the service in Chicago. And I would like for them to hold up their hands for the ones who attended that service. From the police department, from city council, the whole thing here, and we say thank you for that. Thank you.
And finally, I would like to ask Tom Kahn, our former Spalding varsity football coach, athletic director, and dean of men, to come up and share a few words. Coach?
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank Tony Artis for his 27 years of service as a Peoria fireman and what you did for our community, and wish you the best in your future. Family, friends, and many teammates here this morning. James was a 1982 senior on our Spalding's first playoff football team, my number 76. A Mid-State 8 unanimous selection all-conference team. A leader by action, a tough competitor, and a pleasant and gentle spirit in school. He was an outstanding student athlete. He was liked by everyone. The good Lord needed an all-conference defensive tackle and decided to make him the #1 draft pick on March 9, 1999, after a 5-year tour with the Chicago Police Department. Badge number 3934, my jersey number 76. I don't think there's another Spalding Institute football player who was a Marine and a police officer to have a street named after him, a very special honor and a great Peoria hero. For many years, I have participated in the annual Run to Remember for Fallen Police Officers. I was able to get James Henry Camp listed on the back of the shirts that participants wear. Another special honor for him. I would like to share a quote that was posted on James' memorial page by Brad Reed, United States Marine Corps, October 7, 2020. I went to boot camp infantry school and served with James Camp, 2nd Battalion, USMC. He was my friend and brother and one heck of a Marine. He loved his country and was always the first to stand up for what was right. He was tough, kind, intelligent, but his most enduring quality was his compassion for his fellow man. James was a great American patriot who spent his life putting himself in harm's way to protect and serve. Till we meet again, my brother, fair winds and following seas. End of quote. To me, this is the James Camp I knew, my number 76, badge 394. So from this day forward, when I drive by this sign that we unveiled, I will give him a salute and a high five for his quarterback sacks. Semper Fi, James.
Thank you again to Chief Tony Artis, James's family members, and our speakers for joining us today as we honor our old friend, classmate, and teammate. There's a number of gentlemen over here that either went to St. Bernard's with him or Spalding or both. He was a dear friend of ours. When the Spalding class of 1983 held a memorial mass for James shortly after his death 22 years ago, we closed with the traditional Irish blessing. I think it would only be fitting to do so again today. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Enjoy your street, James. You're always remembered and never forgotten. Now I'd like to ask James's family to unveil the sign. We're going to go right across the street here and unveil it. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Hello.